Are you ready? Are you ready to hear some thought-provoking concepts about how we move our body? I'm Linda Gee-Hesketh, and I'm here as a mom, a wife, a grandma, and formerly trained as a kinesiologist. So the science of human movement, but also a world traveler. So I'm going to bring you concepts based in Ayurvedic medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, different cultural thoughts on movement, and hopefully inspire you to apply some of these really simple principles that are so cool, and they leave us feeling so good. And the side bonus is that we look really good and we move in an agile way, and it's sustainable and harmonious with the rest of our lives. So stay tuned. Ooh, we are going to talk about something juicy today. What if thoughts become things? And sometimes we think, yeah, I'll go with that. And sometimes we think, I don't understand how that mechanism works, so I don't 100% believe it. And just in having less than 100% belief, we nullify our ability, our power to do that. So stick with me. We're going to talk about how this actually happens, how we can make it come about, how we can do it faster, and how we can get better and better at it. So it's the juiciness of it. It's delicious. This is Linda Gee-Hesketh, podcasting from the forest in the Rocky Mountains. And we think about thoughts become words. Words become beliefs. Beliefs dictate our actions dictate our habits, and our habits dictate our results. We know that from James Allen, the author of As a Man Thinketh. I would invite you to look at the possibility that energy comes before the thought intention or intentional thought. And I'm going to give you the long version of it. The long version of how energy is everything. So let's think about our bodies. If I look at the back of my hand, I can see an individual skin cell. And if it's a dry skin cell, that might even flake off and become a piece of dust in my house. But that one cell can can organize itself into a sheet. And that sheet is a tissue. So for example, when you have a sunburn or your skin is peeling, sometimes you tear it off in more than one cell configuration. So that's a tissue. Our tissues organize themselves because it's a natural part of nature to self-select and organize in similarities. Tissues become organs. So, for example, my skin cells become skin, which is the largest organ in my body, but heart cells become the heart organ, brain cells become the brain organ, pancreas, all the things. Like we could list more than 17 of these. Our organs organize themselves into systems. So, for example, my cardiovascular system is my heart and lungs. My gastrointestinal system is my stomach, my gut, large intestine, small intestine, rectum. My immune system has a variety of a bunch of different cells. Reproductive system. So systems then organize themselves to become our beautiful body that can do so many things. So if you're following so far about how we go from cells into our cells, billions of cells form our body. Let's go back to the cell and go smaller. So what's smaller than a cell? Molecules. What's smaller than a molecule? Molecules made of atoms, protons, neutrons. Like if we think atoms are the smallest measurable piece, like that's what we are. We're a big bag of atoms. What is an atom made out of? An atom is 99% energy and 1% matter. 1% solid, 1%, like when I say matter or solid, I mean it's something that's tangible to the naked eye or to under a microscope. Um, we used to think that the 99% was just space, but now we know that it's energy. So if my body of billions of cells is made up of billions, maybe trillions of atoms, where's the other 99%? And so you think about these phrases like mind over matter or what's the matter with you today? It's like, well, what is being manifest? What is the hard, tangible things that I can see and feel and touch? And the rest of it is energy. So my body might occupy a certain amount of space, which we define by my height, my weight, maybe my tape measure circumference measurements, but my 99% of all of those cells creates a field around me, an energy field. And that energy field could extend 2 meters or 22 meters. It depends on how big someone's energy is. And we all can imagine the one person we know whose energy takes up the room when they walk in. Or we have an awareness of this energy because this is like our aura. We hear different words for it. Your aura, your personal space. I got a gut feeling because the energy was sending a message to your emotional center where your spleen is, just underneath your rib cage. It's like, oh, I have a gut feeling, or trust my gut. Like all of these phrases came from somewhere because there's an element of truth in it. So really, all of these cliches are explaining energy. So what do we do with that information? When we create something, an idea, a thought, we can put energy in it or we don't give any energy to it. We have the power of free will. We have the power of intention. And I'm very aware of this because I grew up in a culture where people believed in fate. So it was like, when's your astrological birth year? Oh, you were born in the year of the dragon. Well, your fate is this. Or what element dragon are you? Are you a wood dragon, a fire dragon, that kind of a thing? Or this is just the way it is. And it really, I think it's like a cultural, political reason, but it really, um, I think this thought process was really a way to keep people under control. So it was keeping them predictable, it was keeping them in fear. But we know that we have free will, and free will overrides everything. So we don't have a destiny, so to speak, but there are lots of ways to look at our lives and see that we have lots of possibilities. We have lots of potentials. And I believe that each person has their own set of lessons that we're going to learn, and we choose our life circumstances based on learning, getting to learn those lessons and having that wisdom. And so we don't all want the same things. Like, not everybody wants to be an Olympian. Not everyone has a preference to um, know how to scuba dive. Not everyone has a preference to run a marathon. Not everyone has a preference to be academic. And not everyone has a preference to be creative in the same way. So we all have our individual preferences based on whatever our journey is, whatever our lessons are during this time. And the fact that we can tap into that, have a preference, have an idea or a vision around that, means that it's set out for us. And we don't have to worry that there's a scarcity of it, because not everyone's going to want it. Believe me, not everybody wants the same things as what I want, or has a preference for the life experiences that I would like to experience. Like, some people really love to travel. Some people have zero interest in ever leaving their hometown. And neither are right or wrong, good or bad. It's just where we're operating from. And so the fact that I have these dreams and visions and insights and desires means that they were meant for me. And they are possible for me if I choose to use my free will to work toward it. And by work, I don't mean go hard or go home, or no pain, no gain, or work hard, work hard, work hard. Yes, there is going to be some action required on my part, but a lot of the action is vividly imagining the end result to the point where I can feel expectation in my body, where I don't have a shadow of a doubt that it's going to happen, and I can set down the belief that I can't have it or that it's not for me. And as soon as that's done, I'm on my way to pulling all of the quote unquote coincidences that allow it to unfold so beautifully. And they don't have to be effortful, they can be effortless. And it can be whatever you want to call it, whatever God moment, whatever serendipity, coincidence. It can happen quickly, it can happen slowly, it can happen gradually, however my state of readiness is, because I'm the one who's in control of that. Can you hear this, you guys? There's a big wind coming through the trees, and the trees are shaking, and all the leaves are rustling. And it looks intensely beautiful. Okay, I hope that got caught in the recording, but maybe not. So I hope that gives some clarity about how energy is everything, and energy helps thoughts become things, and it's available for everyone. That's how we have rags to riches stories. That's how we have people being discovered from across the world, from a different part of the planet. That's how we have the most beautiful unfoldings. And I love these stories. And I'm excited to be bringing more of these stories to you in some of the interviews that I have coming up. And I'm going to stop here, but I send you love. I send you light. I send you pure joy. And I thank you for joining me. See you next time. I hope you liked some of what you heard today. If you can think of two people who would also be interested in these concepts, I encourage you to share these podcast episodes with them. I'll be back with you weekly, bringing you more, bringing you some very interesting guests, and always bringing you laughs and giggles and really good stories. If you want to connect with me, I'm on Instagram at Linda Gee-Hesketh, and I'll look forward to